What they do. What they do.
Hey, y'all should have saw me. I was doing my little. Hey, I feel like I could have been like MG backup dancer.
Right.
Yeah, for 5 seconds.
Way in the back.
Way in the back. Only for 5 seconds. I'd be like, don't put the spotlight on me. I just want to be on the same stage. I'd be
that's
like,
it.
And that's all I can do. Because a thick girl, I'd be like, no.
So how y'all doing out there? What they do, try.
Hey, y'all.
How
okay.
y'all doing?
All right now.
Hopefully well.
They are blessed.
So yeah, we back with another one.
And another one.
We back with our spicy one today.
Guess what?
What's up?
I want to know how they Valentine's Day week went.
Probably went all right.
It went all right? Okay, cool.
It probably went good. Somebody didn't get something.
Hey, or some new marriages or proposals. You know, people get married around that time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So all the love.
We talking about the ones that chose the Super Bowl over getting the girl the present. And the girl was walking around with the stuff all over the house.
I remember the topic.
So yeah, that probably took place.
They took place too. And all love. All right, yeah.
Hopefully it went well, right?
It did.
Okay. So what we talking about, T?
So today is career over happiness.
Career over happiness.
Yes.
So this is a good one.
I
like this.
All right now.
All right. What they do. This your boy DP.
This your girl T.
And we're the Geminis Gemz, representing for the Geminis across the world, giving our own Miami perspective.
For sure. So
you can follow us on all podcast platforms at Geminis Gemz.
Also follow us on Instagram, Geminis_Gems, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Geminis Gems.
Hey, make sure you like, follow, you comment, and you subscribe. Yes. And make sure when you type it in, it's Geminis with the S, Gems with a Z. And what we do, T?
Drop them gems.
Drop them gems. So yeah, we back.
All right.
So you ready to start, T?
I'm ready to start.
Career over happiness.
Because it's hard. Because you have to, meaning, say if you have a lot of responsibility.
Okay.
And the only way for you to, especially when it comes to finances,
right?
And the only way for you to get those finances are, hey, you probably have to work. It's either you do work for yourself or you work for corporate. Either way, you have to work to get your income. So I want to talk about balance. Because for me, I'm one step in, one step out for me to really fully understand, is there a such thing called balance? Because for me, I'm a very organized person. I live by the schedule. I live by the calendar. But at the end of the day, things still fall through the cracks. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not successful across the board, I'm telling myself it's not balanced. Like, so I could go back and reorganize, replan, do that, but things still get falling through the cracks.
Right.
So before I go in more, I feel like you're more better or a believer with balance. So tell me your thought.
That's my thing.
Tell me on balance. Help a sister out.
So you have to be balanced in the 6 areas.
Oh, I need to write this down because I didn't know we had any areas. But go ahead.
Always talk about it.
Listen, come on. It be the Looney Tunes and Walt Disney. Okay, let me put that damn excuse.
Excuses.
Thank you. I beat you to it. Let me give you the freaking excuse.
So
okay, I'm taking notes. Thank you.
Mental, emotional, the sociable, spiritual, financial, and physical. Now with those, there must be don't breathe hard. Don't do that. Okay?
Because it's hard.
I know.
This is hard topic for me. So I'm one of them people like, exhale. Go ahead.
So those are, let's say, elements, right, that we constantly have to focus on individually.
Okay.
To ourselves.
Okay.
Are we sustaining a good, healthy spiritual life, emotional life, mental life, financial, budgeting, right? And the physical. Because if you're not healthy,
Right.
then you're not going to be able to provide.
Right.
You're not able to do, the other things as well. Well, as far as like emotionally, you're not going to be able to be there spiritually for either other people as well.
Gotcha.
So, and also sociable. You have to socialize in order to create balance, to know what's in and what's out, what's new and what's old, right? So that's where I come at with the balance. We must be balanced individuals to sustain a good, healthy life overall.
Okay.
And if we are not, then we can't give that off to other people. So that's a constant thing we need to. The mind is a terrible thing to waste,
Facts.
but it's a toxic place to cause calamity. Because if your mind is toxic, everything around you will be traumatic.
Right.
Everything around you will be chaos. So that's where I get that, ideology from. Well, not where I get it from. That's where I based it off of.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? That's why we need it. So yeah, that's why I come with that.
So we on balance, right?
Yep.
Hey, I'm a single mom of 2.
Right.
So as I realized, I say, hey, I have extra time to do X, Y, and Z. So T will go ahead and try to fill that time in, nothing negative. Say, hey, so like for an example, I went back to school. And I'm like, you know what? You have time to go back to school. So now that I had all that on my plate previously before going back to school, T go ahead and add more to the plate. But it's a development, it's a growth of the path that I'm on. So T, go back to school. So I did. So now you kind of, not to say you're losing that happiness away, but you still putting that career path first because 2022, at this point, especially you still in corporate, they want you to have some type of formal degree. That's what it is. Probably always been like that, but nowadays,
that's what it is.
That's what it is, right? So now that you add school to the factor, where do you have that time? Where does that balance come to where happiness need to come in? Knock, knock, because you go to work, make sure the kids are good, make sure your house is good, in order. You got to cook, you got to clean, got to do schoolwork, Hey, Gemini Gemz, I'm slacking. My DP pissed at your girl every freaking week. So I'm just like, T, you got to get it together. So it's like, how in the hell? That's what that thing called something gonna get falling through the cracks. Prime example, something gonna get falling through the cracks. So what can a sister do to balance off where she see herself in the future for her career and the legacy that I want to build for my kids over my happiness? Like, I'm happy. I'm telling myself I'm happy. I think I'm happy because I really want to I have to keep doing this every day.
Right. So first of all, don't fall into the mental capacity of being delusional. If you're not happy, you have to say, I'm not happy. I want to change it. For one. Second, okay, I'm gonna just put it this way.
Okay.
Women love to go to school instead of trying to find a husband or not be available to being a wife. Nothing.
I have a question.
Nope. You cannot ask no question.
Later?
Yes, of course. Okay. Right? So you're not making yourself ready because the first thing you mentioned was about money. One of the first things that you mentioned.
The finances, because that's how it pays the bills. It put the food on the table.
And the first thing I put was you need a mate. Because we are not here to do it by ourselves. I'm going to keep preaching this to anybody. You're not to be by yourself. You're made to be with someone else. Okay? And from that, then a lot of things can become balanced. But we have to focus on those things day in and day out. So you talk about time. We have 24 hours in a day.
Right.
24 hours in a day. And I'm going to just do a little bit of math.
Okay. I got you.
24 hours in the day times 7.
Right.
That's 160 hours a week.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
So we need 8 hours to be sleep a day.
That's the minimum.
Right.
That they say we need.
So let's just say that's, I don't want to break it all the way down because it'll be time consuming.
Okay.
But just let's say you have, if you begin to do the numbers, so that's 100 and let's do 168.
All right.
You know, I ain't a calculator yet in my brain.
Okay.
All that stuff. So then let's do 8 hours times 7.
All right.
All right, that's 56.
Uh-huh.
And then you work for 8 hours. That's 40 hours
minimum
in a week.
Yeah, the 40
right?
hours. You right.
All right. So let's just subtract those 3.
Okay.
So let's go. 1. You got 72 hours. That's 3 days.
3
when
days.
you're not working, right?
Right.
And when you're not working and when you're not asleep. Right?
Okay.
So let's do minus that, minus 7.
Okay.
Oh, I should have said divided by 7.
So 72 divided by 7.
Right. Divided by 7.
Gotcha.
That's 10 hours basically each day. So let's just say 9.5 hours each. It should be each day, right? Where you have a window to cater to something, right?
For yourself.
For yourself, and then you have to attend to the kids. You have to attend to your mate,
right?
Stuff like that. So if we just break down the 10 hours a day, right? That you have to do. And of course, we got to subtract some of that time because you got to travel to work.
Right.
You got to travel to the grocery store.
Right.
But in that time, right, I want to get into it real quick. In that time, we can be praying. We can be sitting down thinking about a budget instead of watching TV.
Right.
Because we find time to be on social media. If you look at your stats in your phone, you'll find out that you spent over, let's say, 100 hours throughout the day. I mean, well, it's not throughout the day, but throughout the week.
I got you.
On social media, watching TV, entertaining our brain, but nothing to sustain our lives.
Right.
No investment for ourselves. We find out ourselves to do those things that's more relaxing instead of taking care of business now so it can be out the way. Because I believe this, if you take 2 hours every day, eventually, let's say you take the 2 hours and then you handle your budget. Eventually, you'll be so good at it, it'll only take you 15 minutes.
Got you.
And it takes no time to take care of that.
Right.
But we have to put ourselves in a program each and every day to take care of certain, let's say, elements to help us better. So you need to pray. You need to tell yourself, like, go in the mirror. When you're taking a bath, you can pray then. You have to find the time or have conversations. Like, when I'm dating a girl, she comes in the bathroom with me. We sit down and talk. Well, I take a bath, she take a bath. We can talk then about our issues, our problems, and all of that stuff.
Gotcha.
Because I don't want to waste no moment.
Right.
Now, I know my job teaches me not to waste no moment because you never know.
Right.
But then that's when I'm taking advantage of it. Then I may set a time where I'm watching a movie for 10 hours out of the day or 6 hours out of the day. You get what I'm saying? So I believe in time. You got to make time for what you want to make time for.
I got you.
What's important to you, you're going to make time for it.
Facts.
And I'm going to leave it right there. So if your happiness is more important, then you would choose happiness. And what makes you happy? And once you find that out, you will execute it at each and every moment that you have it. Or is your career that makes you happy? So
I'm gonna open up. So I like the I like the fact that you mentioned the mate. So I'm 1,000 agreements with you with that. So I guess my fear is with the time, like TIME, right? And the reason why is fearful because I saw my father work himself to death. Literally, he passed away on the job and got the call, whatever, right? So my fear is that if God sends me home sooner than what I want to leave my kids behind, because that's the only reason why I'm pushing for whatever I'm doing. So when God do send me home, my kids are able to have some benefit from me leaving, not just finances, but literally the values that we live for. But finances is still a major part because my kids are young. So if I don't continue to thrive, if I don't continue to hustle down before God sends me home, what do I leave my kids with? So my happiness for me will be that, you know what, if God sends me home right now, my kids will be okay. But as of today, on this recording now, if God sends me home, they won't have much. So it's just like I keep going, and that's the only thing that's driving me until I can say, you know what, have a glass of wine. God, I'm ready to go home because my kids will be okay. I'm not there yet.
The Bible talks about work while it's day, because at night no man can work it. So I would interpret that scripture is when you have the energy to work and make it happen, make it happen. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point in time, there's going to be a time where you cannot do anything. So leaving an inheritance for your kids, mm-hmm. yes, that's great. But this is where I kind of pause everything. What's more important for your kids to have when they leave? And it could be for anybody, anything. Now, if you do what you're supposed to do, your kids won't have to struggle once you leave. Why? Because you instilled in them certain attributes that can carry them on for the rest of their lives. Mm-hmm. So that's like giving a child $300,000 and giving a child $300,000 and giving another child $50,000. But the one that you gave the $300,000 with, mm-hmm. they're going to squander the money because you didn't have time to teach them or help them or anything like that, mm-hmm. right? You just worked because it was day. And now you're gone. Now your child is squandering their money. They don't have nothing. And then you can give a child $50,000 mm-hmm. and they have substance. You instilled in them certain type of attributes, mm-hmm. right? And then they turn that 50 into $3 million. Mm-hmm. Because you showed them the ropes, because you spent the time trying to teach them. Instead of coming home and let's say you come home and you start complaining about your day. No, before hitting the door, come home and say, you know what? I'm going to instill life in my kids. I'm going to instill substance in my kids. You know what? Hey, listen, when I get home, I need y'all to knock this, and this out before y'all play, before y'all watch TV or whatever they do. They can be knocking down business plans if you teach them. Not saying you go hard on them, but you can knock certain things out. You can teach them certain substances that can sustain them for the rest of their life. Like hard work pays off. You get what I'm saying? And not just working hard, but working smart. My grandma used to say that. Are you working smart? Are you working hard? She said, work smart today. Whenever I would leave her, she said, today work smart, don't work hard, because we need you in the long run. She always would tell me that when I would be at their house before going to work. Right. And that's something she instilled in me. So when I'm at work, that's what keeps me going. I'm working smart. Now it makes me want to go to a higher position because I want to work smart and not work hard. Got you. You get what I'm saying? Because that heavy labor will take you out. Right. So choosing the happiness, which is the instilling the substance in the kids, so when you leave here, you could be at peace. You're not rolling over in the grave. You got to teach them substance. So you have to make time in order to instill those attributes in the child. Facts. Okay. So that's how I would sum that up. I
didn't want to interrupt you, but go ahead.
No, that's it for that.
That was amazing. So I took some key points on that. Okay. So that was cool. So what you got? Now.
All right. So you got your point. Now it's my point.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is what I said. Fill the void.
fill the void.
So people choose careers because they want to fill a void. And that void is the lack of, let's say, a mate and the increase of money, right? Because they may grew up and didn't have money. Or like some women out here, they say, well, you know, the man wasn't in the house. I don't want to have to rely on no man, this, that, and the third. So I need to go out here and get me a career and get me a job and make this money and take care of my family.
Okay.
Then you do all of those things and then you don't find a man that's suitable for you. Because then in your mind, if you have a career, you think you make 100,000, he should make 200,000. And then you find out a lot of guys ain't making 200,000. And the guys that you're working with don't want you. They want the girl, the secretary.
Oh.
They want the mail lady.
Why?
Because
they have the time?
No, not even.
What?
Because being with a person that's on the same pedigree as you, women are trying to dominate you. In most situations, if a girl makes as much as you or you make less than her, she's going to try to dominate you. And that's what happens. And guys know this. So they'll stray away. Like how much that's why guys don't worry about money. But when they find out, oh, you feeling yourself. So you know what? I'm good.
Okay.
And they'll leave.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So when it comes down to that, that's how I see it. So you try to fill a void. And that void, whatever you're trying to fill, you got to I would say just turn it a little bit. You know, don't try to fill the void with the right position, or try to fill the void with the right person or right situation. If you save your money and don't try to spend it on Birkin, right? I always go to the Birkin.
You always go to those Birkin bags.
Right? Instead of trying to do that and just save, you're great. One thing I liked about you, T, when we was young, he was like, I'm tired of living by myself. You remember that?
Yeah.
And you was like, and you remember your accountant said to you, it's best to move back home.
Yeah.
Right? And wait for your husband to come and get you and y'all move in the house.
Yep.
Instead of trying to take on that responsibility. I think that was one of the best advice they could have given you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then that helps you to save your money so you could be ready for your husband when he comes.
But T didn't save her money. T was traveling. Well, that was my mistake.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
But I get it. I still didn't listen.
Right.
But I got you.
Y'all not going to listen.
Oh, yes.
But in that,
right,
I pull from that is that women should always be ready.
Be ready
for a mate to come and get them, and then they start their lives with, you know, each other.
Got you.
And that's how I view that.
Okay.
So what you got, T?
So when you was talking about fill the void, because I'm listening, I'm receiving, but I'm so fixed in this way what I'm about to say, meaning because my dad, he was there major part of my life.
Right.
And my dad was basically saying, look, you take care of yourself and your responsibilities. And guess what? If somebody do anything for you, you pretty much consider that extra. So and I had that program since I was 4 months pregnant with my daughter, because I was young. 18, 19 years old, pregnant. And he was like, look, you're young. That father of hers is young. So don't expect him to really be the father you might think he should be, because my dad was a young boy at one point in time too. So he was like, ask my daughter. That's when that slogan came in. Take care of your responsibilities, and then when someone do something for you, you just consider that extra. So I didn't turn that off yet, because I feel that if I turned that off, I feel like something is F up is going to come up, because meaning if I put my trust in another human being, and that's the responsibility of me and my kids, especially my mom, because I'm gonna add her too. So I have 3 heartbeats that I have to carry every single day. Not to say no one else out there got nothing going on, but for my story, I have 3 hearts plus mine. So I just don't trust no one's judgment as of now. So I guess when I do say I do, that's where it will happen, but as of now, it's all on me. I trust me that much, and I don't know, that other person has not. Hell, I'm not married yet, so I get it. So
he's not there.
So I guess when I probably get the mate and the husband, let me just say that, it'll probably work out on this topic that we're talking about. So for right now, the happiness is there, because I'm always make myself happy now. I tell myself every day, whatever negativity you got going on, change that negative to a positive.
Right.
Make sure you do something for yourself positive before you go to bed. So it's already there. But to be honest, it's probably 10 minutes, less than 30 minutes a day. I'm doing something for myself. But I feel like it's something versus nothing. But those other hours throughout the day is focusing on either a legacy, career, whatever the other structure, responsibilities I have going on. So just currently in my life right now, the career path, if that's what you want to call it, entrepreneurship, work, corporate, whatever, it is winning over happiness because of the responsibility that I have. So I guess I need a husband.
Right. Right.
So hey, it's going to come, because I do want to be married.
Right.
And I have 2 vision boards. One I did in December, one I actually did today. And I keep putting that marriage on the vision board because I want to be married.
Right.
But I want a healthy marriage. I don't want just a marriage and we go figure it out. No, I want a healthy freaking marriage, real adults. So I'm learning as I'm going.
Right.
But thank you for the insight.
Right. Thank God for it.
Thank you.
So here are my talking points on what you just mentioned.
Okay.
And I get it. You're afraid, right? And I get it that you don't want to put your trust in a man. Somebody actually said that before, had a conversation like this before.
Okay.
And what I say is, well, the way she used it, she was talking about the scripture said, "Oh, don't put your trust in no man." But it was talking about it from a biblical perspective.
Okay.
Because if you marry, you have to trust the person.
Yes.
So they was talking about basically a spiritual leader being that person over your life. So you got to be careful, because you don't know which way he can turn you. Right. So that's one. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about. So trusting. You have to have faith that you can find that one to trust. But in the faith, there's a particular type of qualifications this person must meet, right? So I'm going to say he's going to be the man to take over, right? When he comes in your life, he's going to be able to say, hey, listen, this is what I think you should do. So there's a position that he'll put you in, right? Mentally. You get what I'm saying? So he'll walk around and say, hey, you shouldn't do that with your money. You should do this with your money. He's going to come at an angle that you have never probably experienced before. Also, too, you say you want to be married, but then we need to start, if we want to be married, we need to start focusing on that now. Or we should have been focusing on it while we was getting our education.
That's the question that I wrote down. Go ahead.
Right?
Hello.
So we should be focusing on marriage and not dealing with playing around. And I had to realize this myself. My brother was focused on marrying. So once he got his wife, she met certain qualifications, marriage. My granddad, same thing. My dad, my mom, same thing. My brothers, my other brother, you get what I'm saying? They was focused on, hey, do you want to be married? Yes, I want to be married. Okay, this is the elements. Johnny and Stephen, that's how they were. That's how they are.
Right.
I wasn't. Because what I would do is I would sit back and see what the girl brings to the table. And then I start noticing that I'm doing more rearranging instead of just cutting them off. I'm over there trying, my mama said, I try to pretty them up. You try to build
Polish
them up.
them.
Polish them. Perfect. You trying to polish them to make them right, but they're not the wifey material.
No.
Hey, do you want to be married? Yes, I want to be married. What you bring? What you bringing? Oh, I'm bringing this, that, and the third. Okay, let's work on it. Let's see if this can happen. If it can't, cut off onto the next
one.
Also, too, women do not know how to take a back seat to a man. Right? When they get a man, they want to direct.
Okay.
Oh, you got to do it this way. You got to do it that way.
Right.
Let's do this. Let's do it that way. Instead of saying, well, let's see how you're going to play this part, how you're going to look, how this going to look in the future.
Right.
Women don't know how to take a back seat. They want a man, but they don't want to take a back seat to a man. And then they wonder why they're not married. And that's what I have to say with that. So when it comes down to the happiness, and that's why I think that's why women focus more on careers, because it takes away them having to focus on being married, being happy. Because most girls that do have careers don't even want to stay in the careers.
They don't.
Oh, I just want to be home with my kids. Listen, COVID proved a lot. COVID proved that a lot of people rather be home with their family and cherish those moments with their family than work.
That's why I got all of the signs, not hiring.
And nobody wants to go to work because what's more important is my family.
It's your family.
And eating and having a roof over our head.
And that's it. I got you.
Even I would say the nightlife isn't as popping.
No.
Because places can't even stay open long term.
Right.
Because people are not trying. Other things are more superseding the turn up. Because I can turn up at home.
Hello.
With my loved one.
Facts.
We could be laid out on the floor.
Hello. And having the time of our life.
And have the time of our lives.
You know how Geminis do?
Right. So that's what I have to say with that. So what was your question?
So my question kind of ties into what it was a statement that you made. And I was telling myself that kids should be learning this information inside the school.
I agree.
And the reason of that is I wish I'd known this years ago. And I remember it was a high school couple who basically got married right after high school. And as young ones, we might be like, oh my gosh, like pretty much you ready to settle down now? And we know what that term, when we say settle down, meaning you only want that one, now. And the thing is, yes, because look at all this time. I'm talking to myself. So I wasted all these years, all this time playing around. Because that's what we, like you said, we plan around. But
I wish I could throw this whole thing.
But playing around, fast forward, getting you where?
Nowhere.
No freaking where.
Facts.
So not to say all marriages are perfect and no cheating. No, I'm just saying for me. Like, I wish what we're talking about, it could be like a curriculum. Like, hey, y'all, did you think about marriage? And if you're the person that said no, guess what? Come in this classroom. Did you think about marriage? If your answer is yes, still come to this classroom. Because we need this material to be like, you know what? You're not able to survive this earth by yourself. 2 incomes better than 1.
Better than
all
1.
right. So 2 is better than 1. So my question is like, do you feel like this will be inside? Can we get this inside the school system?
It's not, because it betters the society. It betters the statistics. So what tends to happen is nothing to better, is to worse. Because this what happens when you split the home up, you have to spend more money. So businesses are thriving off of that, spending more money more money. So with unity, right, you spend less money. Because you bring in more money into the house, but you're putting less money out. So your bank account begins to grow. And I'm going to say this. When a young lady had moved in with me, we talked.
Okay.
Both our accounts grew.
Got you.
And it grew significantly. And she said she never saw this amount of money in her own bank account.
Got you.
And I was like, that's what's up. And that's what happens when people unite.
Right.
When people come together, we begin to go to a different level. Now, what happens is like what we were talking about last week. We paying attention to other people, and we so because we start to add to other people and forget to add to our own, continuously add to our own. We always want to help other people instead of building our own.
Right.
And then we puff ourselves up when we do have all of this money too. But if you're humble and a humble couple, you should stay in the parameters of staying building. Then your kids will always have an inheritance. The house will be paid off.
Right.
Because you're setting up goals and trying to reach these different monuments within your relationship.
Gotcha.
Babe, what's the next phase of I remember meeting a young couple like that. They sat down. They said, okay, we're going to live like this for now. So they're going to live they paid a lot of money in rent though. But they lived in the house paying $1,800 in rent.
Okay.
I mean, an apartment paid the $1,800.
Okay.
But then they were setting aside X amount of dollars.
Okay.
So 18, what, $900 each person?
Right.
Okay, so then they set aside enough money. I think they had one car.
Okay.
And then they drove each other to work, picked each other up, and let that system work for them.
Right.
And then they eventually was able to buy the next phase, which was a house.
Got you.
And then they was able to get 2 cars.
Yes.
Now they had a child. Now the house is basically paid off. Matter of fact, I know I don't want to say who it is.
Okay.
But somebody very close to me done got rid of $300,000-$400,000 of debt.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? Because they focus on the plan.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's one of those situations. It's like, yo, what do you want out of this life? Do you want to be happy? And then the career starts to subside because now you're focused on being happy even the more. So I believe, yes, you can choose your career, but then there's things that comes with it.
Gotcha.
Right? And then there's a con with being happy too. Some of the things go lack as well. And I put that down as well. Because you can focus on being happy so much and then you end up giving out so much money.
I got you.
You give us that because you're turning up too much or you're spending too much.
Or you're a blessing to others.
Yeah,
right?
No. Because you shouldn't be giving that much to other people. You should be paying attention to your own house.
Think of their own house thing came in.
You get what I'm saying? So what I put was also choosing a career to move to a different topic.
Okay.
Choosing a career. You work countless hours. So there are things in the house that goes lack.
All right.
So, or be abandoned. Right? Or neglected. Right? So those things in the house is like kids. I put the yard, I put cleaning and cooking. So with the cooking, I put that what happens is if you're so busy working, you're not going to cook a healthy meal. You get what I'm saying? So that's why we have obesity. That's why we have diabetes. All of these things, cancers are on the rise because we're not actually paying attention. We're so worried about making a dollar that we're not even paying attention to our own health.
Got you.
And for the kids, who ends up teaching the kids? The TV. So the celebrities becomes an influencer, and now strays away your child away from you. Now you don't understand why your child is acting all up because now they're being torn away from you, and you're trying to pull them back. And now because somebody else start teaching your child everything. Now you don't know that your child is planning to shoot up a school. You get what I'm saying? You don't know that your child is over there bringing guys in or running girls through.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden your child end up pregnant or having being pregnant or having someone pregnant. Or catch a STD.
Hello.
You get what I'm saying? So these things are running amok in your house.
Right.
That's why it's dangerous. You know, choosing a career solely to avoid having a man. The neglect, and then we talked about it before, but we never expound. If you not in the house or I'm not in the house, we both go lack.
Right. Pretty much.
And that's how I see it.
I got you.
So what you got with that?
I just wanted to, I'm receiving all this, right? And my heart is for the kids. And I really wish, like, my goal, dream goal, if y'all know Professor X from X-Men, he had that big old house. And basically all of his kids were under his roof, to where, you know, we know the story of X-Men with Professor X.
Right.
I want a mansion. I want a building that big to where I'm Professor T. And everything that we doing is what
nice right there.
I value. So I want to teach the kids building those healthy relationships. I want to teach the kids communication skills, financial literacy. I want to teach the kids, hey, I will have probably DP do this seminar. Hey, go ahead. There's a biblical class over here. You go ahead and go get that spiritual.
I have to get a pastor for that.
Pastor. So we'll have a minute. I want to have all of this under the roof. Like, if you do not, oh my God, if you're that parent, I'm just tired of these kids. I don't know what to do. Send them to me. I will be the mother goose of this organization. So if there's someone who have those finances, like, you know what? Listen, Miss T would not let you down. So if you somebody, an investor, or you looking for an investment, and I'm talking about some real positivity things, like, really reach out. Like, you know what? I'll be able to help X, Y, and Z, because like you said, the school system is not going to put this material and what we will give off to the kids for them to have their answer key. Because like you said, the government, the system won't make no money off of it. So, but why not still try to build that to where, hey, this is the right way, versus letting the government, letting corporate kind of take over? Because am I for government and the corporate? No. Right. I'm all about controlling my time, controlling my money, and basically let me raise my kids the way I want them to know how this world is effed up or what's going on. So my heart and passion were really to build that mansion. I could take 500 kids, whatever the number amount. And it's just, that's my real vision when it comes to the kids. That's all. I just wanted to share that.
Right. So I'm going to say this. Saving everybody is a great thing. But it starts at home. Right. Then it spreads abroad. And that's one thing I think us as parents have to pay attention to. We always love to save the world, but then our own goes lack. And then those will be the ones that end up in the care, but you never saw it. And that's what I'm talking about. You'll choose a career over just your own house sanctity.
So I got a question. Not to take nothing away.
Yep.
Because I'm still a mom.
Right.
I'm still here. They get the best of mom for who they are. So how much time can a mother or a father spend with the child? Like, they're great.
All the time.
They're great.
They're all the time. Because even in greatness, there's a bit of insecurity or lack. That's why they're your kids. And I'm telling you, because I know for sure people that are our age, that they were lack, and because they was good in school, they got good grades, or they knew how to say yes ma'am, no ma'am. They knew to do cook or clean, but they still was lack. And I'm telling you, I'm not talking from from just out of the side of my throat. I'm telling you conversations I have had with people when I was younger, and that was one of their issues. And I say even for far as the church, they were so busy in the church and they neglected their own kids because their kids was good. Their kids had A's, B's, A's and B's. They were smart. They was able to pass the SAT score because kids can be programmed to do the good thing, but you don't know what's internally. Those things that the individual is struggling with, you don't even know. And then it hits you when you find out somebody else knows, as well as you didn't know. And that will bother you. And so that's why I take it back. The career thing, I get it. You want to make the money, you want to do those things. But with that money being made, what are you doing outside of that? Are you just solely like thinking you could do it all by yourself and all of that stuff? I don't. That's why I say I don't know a man that walks around and said I can do it all by myself. He always say I need a helpmate. Even millionaires still needs a woman around somewhere because she will fill the void when something has lacked. So, but women to turn around and say, I don't need a man. I can do it all by myself.
I got you.
You get what I'm saying?
I got you.
So that's how I see it with that. But back to the point of being neglected, there are kids that, yes, they have they're superb, but then they are not balanced because that's what we first talked about. They're not balanced. Some things go lack. And then you never see it. You'll never see it. So like my son, listen, he's always going to get my attention over any other kid. Daddy, yes. Because that's what he do. He don't be wanting nothing, but yes.
Right.
Because I understand how that feels. Because my kids are perfect. No, you don't never know what their demons are. And just like for you, it's certain demons that you faced that your parents probably didn't know.
Of course.
Right.
And
then you will say later on, you know what? My parents didn't really pay me that much attention. Right. So I'm going to make sure I pay my kids attention. And then you find yourself doing the same thing your parents did. And I'm cautious of that. Because there is a scripture in the Bible that talks about neglecting your child. And when you neglect them, they bring you to shame. That's biblical. And we never think about this thing. That's why this career thing hits home. The career thing hits home, but in a different way. It wasn't all about the career. It was all about church.
Gotcha.
Okay. But and it's fine in its own respect, in its own place. But then things went lack in the house that could have caused calamity, but we had a balancer. We had a grandma, we had an auntie, that's why I believe in unity. I believe in friendship. Like you be on me, T, when it comes down to my son. Hey, I'm here for you. I got your back, and I understand it. Because we need that. What they
village.
Call it. Yes. Yep. We need the village.
Village.
Because that's dangerous.
Yep.
And then that pollution ends up being put out into the world. And that's what I have to say with that. So, T.
Yes.
I got one more.
Come on now. We here. Let's go.
Giving yourself, and this is my issue in relationships.
Okay.
Giving yourself to submit to money and not to your man. Now, this is touchy.
So the statement was that for someone to submit to their money and not to their man.
Right. So we live in a day that money supersedes everything.
Okay. Yes.
Money is the ruler.
Of course.
Of that too.
Okay.
But everyone.
Yeah.
Well, a woman will not submit to what's right because you don't have money. You may have substance. You may have a belief system. You may be able to carry the person through the storm. with your faith and your belief and
Okay.
still be able to pay bills. Because that's what they'll say. Oh, but how does that pay bills? I'm still working to pay bills.
Okay.
But money, I don't have it all. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a thousandaire.
Okay. Hello. It's okay.
I ain't 100,000 yet.
Hello.
Right?
Okay.
But the bigger the bank, the more power you have in a relationship. To me, that's foolishness. I understand the respect. You can have respect for the person that has the most money. I get that. But there's no way that if you have more money and you a foolish person, I'm going to walk after you. I don't care how much money you could be evil. Money really opens a person real, like who they really are up. So if they're mean, you're going to be more mean. If you're nice, you're going to be more nice. If you have money, if you're a giver, you're going to give even more. If you're sweet, you're going to be even sweeter. If you have more money. So that's how I feel. It brings out the true who you really are. But that's not the end all be all. At the end of the day, to me, it's about having substance. It's about sustaining, because millionaires killed themselves. People that have a lot of money, they suicidal all the time. Because they can never believe that somebody loved them for them. They love them for their money. And think about it. Basically, that's true, because you're only with the person because they got money. And you don't think a person knows that? They may play it off because they can manipulate you, but that's
some
not
people
the
do.
end all be all. So instead of submitting yourself to money, submit yourself to your man that will help sustain you. We looking at the long haul. We're not looking at the temporary fix, because the guys that got the money right now just temporarily in your life. But the man you end up finding later on, and you want to stick it out with them. And that's what I have to say with that.
Okay.
All right.
So what I first wrote down is, when a woman has that financial stability to where she knows that she doesn't need a man in her life for finances, but at the end of the day, she will still respect that man regardless of what he has on his end or what he hasn't. So I know some women, and it's very few in this community.
Say that.
Okay, so let me please add that, because I'm just that woman, regardless of your finances, my finances, like you said, we'll both do it together. It's just better when you do it together. But let's come back to where you come across a woman who probably don't need a man financially, but she will still respect you as a man. So is it truthful that, is the man really still worry about if her finances better than his? Or is it truthful, like, you know what, if she do have the funds, is the fear that she might disrespect a man based off the financial situation? But again, we talk about a woman and a man, not a grown girl and not a grown boy. So when it comes to a woman, she will still give you that respect. And she still will say, you know what? You still will be the man of the house. So this is what we have on our table. Not your table, not my table. This is what we have on our table. We still going to let you be the lead. Like, you know what? What is our goals? Because if you're the head of the household, you the man, you need to know the plan. Because again, it goes back to my belief as a woman. I'm just a blueprint to help give you whatever you need in order for your vision to come to life. Because once you have that feeling, once you feel like you have the power, once you feel like you are the man that control of the house, men kind of thrive more. They kind of want to do better. They kind of want to keep going, because we're allowing you all to go ahead and steer the car. So it's just, when it comes to the finances of relationships, that's why I put finances at the bottom of all of my relationships. And that's why, hell, to be honest, I'm a baby mama. Okay, I'm a baby mama. But if you talk to the fathers of my kids, and be like real talk. Like, so do T give you any problems when it comes to finances? Honest truth, it will be hell no. It's probably not my fault or what that person wants to do financially, but be honest, I'm just that woman. I'm not going to beg you. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to hound you. I'm basically not going to make your life a living hell because I put finances at the bottom. Still call your child. Still be a part of your child's life because you're the father. So for me, I don't, again, care about the finances because I'm still drilled in how my dad taught me to, like, hey, take care of your responsibilities. So by your income and whatever we have going on, I trust that, hey, wherever or whenever you might slack based off my finances, I know for sure I'll be there just to help. I'll be the help. So for those women who, hey, got the funds or however, whatever tax bracket they might be in, once the man, if or when the man falls down, guess what? He should also know that, you know what, I got the help. And the help should be within the house. And I think it's just that simple. Each other is the help. So it's just that simple. So why not trust in her that, you know what, you'll be the help versus going to your homeboys, versus going to get a loan, versus you working hard. Why you working harder? Well, I might need you in the bedroom. Be like, look, I got it. Like, I don't need you to go work harder in the labor in the field. No, we just good. Work harder on me. Hey, just work harder over here. It goes both ways. You understand?
Right.
So I don't need you to work hard. Babe, come on. Hey, this dinner already cooked. If you want a beer, wine, whatever, it's already here. So we're good. Because guess what? Like you said, we need you longer. And this house needs you longer. Not out there working hard because you feel like you probably don't bring F the finances. Put that at the bottom of the list because, hey, we're going to be good. So we're each other's help when it comes to that topic.
We're each other helps?
We're each other helps.
Now, let me say this.
All right.
Because in defense to... Because I'm pro-man.
Pro-man.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm about us fellas.
I know you are.
I'm about us aces.
Yeah, about them jewels.
I know.
All right.
So there's a very small group of women that will allow their man to make less than them and still show them respect. Most women...
I'm one of those.
And I'm going to try to break it down to a point. But most women will not bow down when they know that they make more than they man. And that's why you have a lot of relationships, career like women, they are single. They can find somebody to poke, but no one to stay. They'll stay for a nightcap and they are no longer there no more. And that's their fault because I'm really trying to understand y'all women. Right? And what I'm gripping on is dad building. Your dad built you a certain way to help you understand that the man still has a place, right? So he built you to still take care of things, but remember your place as a woman. And what happens is when you meet, let's say, girls that have their careers, they probably lack the building of a dad. To show them how to live in the house with a man. That's why they are not able to coexist with a man that makes less than them because they don't understand that dynamic. They feel like, and I heard this before on a podcast, women that they make a significant amount of money, they feel like they are as equal to a man. Because they make the same amount of money, right? But what they come to grips with later on in life is that a man don't see you equal to him.
Right.
You still a woman.
You're still a woman.
I still have to protect you. You're not going to step in front of the bullet.
Nope.
To take the bullet for me.
I don't want to.
Right. You'd rather him still do it.
Thank you.
But then he can step in place to still do XYZ things for you.
Exactly.
But then you don't even give him the respect that he's due when he does do those things.
That's sad.
That's crazy.
I don't live that life.
But that's their mindset. That's a toxic mindset to me. Their ideology is really tainted. So when it comes down to the dad, I believe the lack of the dad showed them to be some type of show some type of aggression. You know, be aggressive in ways that, because they didn't see their man, see the dad in the house, they feel like they can be like a man, but you cannot. You get what I'm saying? So then there's different roles that plays, and you could go down the whole list.
Right.
Also, too, you mentioned about, you know, the man just breaking your back end. That's his job.
Hello.
Right? So it's and you know, helping around the house. Nowadays, because women make significant amount of money, they're able to take care of the household. So they have, instead of the housewife, they have house husbands.
Yeah, they do.
You get what I'm saying? So it's more of those guys out there now, and it works for them. That's the dynamic, and that's how it works for them. It's okay.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So you just have to find what's good for you. Now, with the house husband, I believe what makes it work is that the dad is still, or the man in the house is still due respect.
Yes.
And respect is due to a dog. I always say that.
Right.
I should show you respect, mutual respect, and it should be as vice versa. Right. Just off of just face. There should be automatic respect. Now, when you cross that line, then there's a certain type of outcome, consequence for it as well.
Gotcha.
So that's what we have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
So yeah, T. That's what I have with that. I do concur that women should play a part, play a role, even though they may make significant amount of money.
Yeah, we all have a role that we all just need to stay in our own lane with that role.
Exactly.
That's it. It's that simple.
Yeah. So
yeah.
What else you got, T? Oh, that's it.
I want to just add something. It was something I saw on TV. I don't know if you guys watched this show. It's basically about the cheapest people in this world. Meaning it's a show. It's on TLC, and they say it's a family, and they probably, I'm not saying to do this because it's disgusting, but some of them might go to a dumpster, real talk, and they got gloves, and they really go through the trash and see what they can take home. They probably go to Wendy's, whatever condiments that they receive from the fast food or whatever restaurant, they kind of save it because they don't have to go to the grocery store to buy the napkins, to buy the forks. Like, it's a community of people who just save money the best way. And there was a couple on there, a black couple. He was the stay-at-home father, and the wife was either a transit driver or she worked at the post office. And
I think I know.
You saw that episode? No.
I'm gonna tell you what I seen.
Okay, so basically the father, they were married. He was the stay-home husband. But guess what? That lady gave praise to her husband.
That's what's up.
And you know what she said? He does better finances than they do in their home. He does better homework with them kids at home. She knew that she could not give the kids in the house the same as if it was her responsibility. Wow. So she said, let me go to work.
Yep.
So by her going to work, and he knows how to save those pennies on this, like, I was like, holy crap, and it works for them.
But see, that goes back to our last week topic of paying attention to your own house.
Hello.
Right.
Hello. And it worked for them.
Yep.
And when they got one car, because he drops her off, he dropped the kids. He's like, I was like, and guess what? They ain't no stress. No freaking stress, because that's what's in their lane. That's how their finances go. And he says, hey, whatever she bringing in income, he'll take it. He know what to do with it. Boom, boom, bam. We'll survive off of this. Here you go, bam. And she said it worked. And guess what? She said she loved going to work.
Yep.
But he take care of the rest.
She probably the happiest worker.
Oh, she probably the happiest worker, because when you ain't got to worry about them kids, the bills, and all that, he take care of it.
I feel you.
I was like, and here we all stressing. I need a mate.
so there was a financial show.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly what it was. I probably have to find it.
Okay, I just want to add that. Go ahead.
So there was a financial show, and the lady, she, because of the trauma that happened when she was young, it's two scenarios, but I'm not gonna explain the second one.
Okay.
But because of her traumatic event when she was young, she would save every little penny. So if the lights was on, she was flicking it off. If the water was running, she would even recycle the dishwater.
Oh wow! How do you recycle the dishwater?
I don't know, but she did it. She recycled the dishwater, the bath water, and all of that stuff.
Yes.
So the water that you got to turn it off.
Yes.
And then you scrub yourself, and then it was a black couple too.
It got to be the same show. This got to be the same one.
Nah, this was a financial show.
This is a financial show?
Yeah.
To where so it's not called Cheapest or Cheaper or something like that.
No, it wasn't that. It was dealing with budget. It was budgeting.
Okay.
And what they end up realizing, because they always showed the nasty side of budgeting, but they wanted to show a good side of it that episode. So they used her as an example.
Oh, wow.
Well, that couple as an example.
Right.
That Do Us Part. That's the name of the show.
Oh, gotcha.
I used to watch that every Saturday. Two shows before I went skating.
Okay.
So it was a financial show, so I can be able to, hype in my senses on, finances. So this particular episode, she saved so much money, but she had a hard time spending it.
Okay.
So they were trying to get down to the grit of it. Why, you're doing these things, and the husband was just stressed. He's like, we got the money, but she won't let us spend it. Okay. And you get what I'm saying? And I get why she does it, because yes, we never know what's going to happen.
Right.
But if you got over like $500,000 in your savings account,
just a savings account,
and then you still got your pension, and you got this. Hey, come on now.
Hey, she said nobody touching this.
Right. She was like, listen, I don't want to see you go under 500. You get what I'm saying? And then it's like, but then they had one car.
Okay.
They were still like wearing clothes from, let's say, 10, 15 years.
Hello.
You get what I'm saying? Like, it was just one of those things like, come on now.
My goodness.
Don't do the most.
Don't do the most?
Right.
Listen. Hey, how about we all live that life just for 1 year? Just 1 year. This lady had a bag full of ketchup and all the condiments. She said, I don't go to the store to buy this. And she was like, so we go out for fast food and go to the pizza place? She said, we need plates. And when I mean she got
That's exactly what that lady was doing.
just like, but it's smart.
Right.
It really is. But
now with that, with that, they didn't choose. Well, this woman, the woman I'm talking about, they had the husband and wife had a career.
Okay.
But they wanted to be happy. The husband wanted to be happy, and then she did want to let go.
Okay.
And be happy as well.
Gotcha.
So in essence, those are people, or those are examples of choosing happiness over actually the careers.
Gotcha.
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree. Right.
So with that being said, I do agree that we should focus more on being happy, than our careers. Yes, we should work.
Right.
Yes. And there's a time and place for everything, right?
I agree.
So let's say you graduate from high school, you go to college, your 20s, you get your degrees. Okay, that's a point where you stop going to school now.
Okay.
Get some training.
Okay.
Stop going to school.
It's some people out there still going.
Right.
They go be. Ooh.
Listen, they already got the PhD. They trying to find something.
Well, they try to create something else.
That's the crazy. That's the wildest thing to me. That's mean you're not happy.
Gotcha.
And you have to fill that void.
Right.
And the void can be probably the insecurities with the money, or the traumas with the money. That's what I meant to say. And or the lack of having a mate. So as much energy as you're putting towards the having a degree, you should put towards having a mate.
So I'm gonna just add before we get off.
Yep.
People, okay, I want, like you said, the word mate, but I want the right mate. I want the healthy mate. I want everything in that. I need that verb in front of just to mate. Because people get married and maybe it's not the right person and they stick it out, they struggle. So, hey, maybe they're not in a healthy marriage or relationship. So they kind of find other things to do, to be honest, not to be home.
Right. So
you understand? So if everything was happy, if everything was love, guess what? I won't be working hard because I'm trying to get back to the happiness and do it every single day.
I agree. Now, You shouldn't have to put nothing, no adjectives in front of mate.
Oh.
Because choosing a wife, what it says, choose a wife. Right? Your wife.
Which one I say? I said verb. Did I say adjective? Noun, verb, plural.
One of them.
That's it.
One of them.
One
right?
of them, right?
Right. So instead of putting the adjective, I'm saying instead of just putting the adjective in front of mate, you should already know the mate has to meet these requirements.
Gotcha.
You have. This is my thing. You have to focus on it.
Have to focus on it.
If this man ain't meeting your requirements, all right, on to the. Now you be telling me this.
Okay.
You have to exercise the same thing.
Okay.
Right.
What I said?
You say, listen, if he don't have this,
right,
he don't remember this,
right,
cut off.
That was tea. That was so mean. I left a lot of people with no closure, and I'm so bad with that.
It's not even that.
Oh.
They didn't meet your standard.
No.
Now the crazy thing that goes with that is that you give yourself.
Right.
You should.
Right.
You should have saw it at the front door.
Right.
And then let it go.
Right.
That's all I'm saying with that.
I gotcha.
Because the essence of life, right, is to be happy.
Be happy.
In this totality.
Right.
You want to be happy.
I just want it all.
Right.
I want it all.
Right. So in that, you should focus on it. That's all I gotta say.
Thanks for that.
All right. So
all right,
yeah,
y'all.
I'm your boy DP.
All right.
It's my girl T.
Hello.
And we Gemini Gems.
Yes.
That's Geminis with the S.
Yes.
Gems with the Z.
Z.
And what we do, T?
Hey y'all, we dropped them gems.
We dropped them gems.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna find my mate. 2022.
I feel you.
I'm gonna find my husband.
I feel you.
You know, maybe he's here already. Listen, I'm finna be married. I'm gonna say that. I'm coming back. All right, y'all.
All right.